Yo, YouTube, it's Tate Takes. We tapping back in. We was gone for a couple days, but we right back at it, right? This video is going to be about Deshaun Watson and the bullshit that he continues to go through with these allegations of sexual misconduct, right? As I said already, my take on it is I don't believe he did none of the bullshit they saying he did. So if you ask me, they railroading him. They trying to get him out the way. And quite frankly, they're trying to make an example out of him. But there's nothing really to make an example out of. You know what I mean? They just can't let the allegations fly without there being a penalty. But what they don't realize is you're making it much easier for any woman to say, boom, this guy did something to me, this guy touched me, and now you're going to have to respond in the same way that you're responding to Deshaun Watson. You're going to have to respond to every single guy in the NFL, and it's, quite frankly, it's going to be unfair for the rest of the guys to have to deal with that and, have to pay in consequences for something that they didn't even do. You know what I mean? So where they going with this and, appealing the original decision that was made is going to set them up for failure down the road, if you ask me. Like I said, they're going to have to continue to hold the same president, and it's just not going to work out well for them, and it's not going to work out well for the players that's in the NFL, nor other players that's playing in other leagues like the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, because everybody looks to the NFL for guidance. The NFL is the top, and I'm saying, they're the leader, and quite frankly, the whole world looks up to the NFL. If you didn't know, it's just how it is. You know what I mean? Sports is, the sports lead the world. You know what I'm saying? And whatever the sports guys doing and whatever the rappers is doing, everybody else just follows suit, and that's just how it go. But to get to the allegations and to get to the NFL appealing the original decision that the judge made, I think it's totally unfair. What they saying is they want to fine him for $10 million, and then they want to suspend him for at least 12 games. Roger Goodell said he don't want to see him playing in Game 12, Deshaun Watson. But man, I think you had an outside source, right? You don't got the NFL who was, who is going to be directly affected by this. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. All right, you got one side, you got the other side, right? Deshaun Watson, NFL, and then you have a sole judge by themselves that has nothing to do with either entity, right? And that person made a decision on the 6 games. I think that is what's most fair, because it's somebody who doesn't have a horse in the race. So if you don't got a horse in the race, you can't get more fair than that. And it was a female judge. When you got a female judge dealing with a case like this, if anything, you're probably going to expect her to be on the NFL side. But the 6 games is just due for me. Even though I find it unfair, I understand where the NFL is coming from, and you can't just let these allegations fly. But at the same time, you cannot punish a guy that's innocent. You understand what I'm saying? Even though he doesn't have to do any jail time, for you to take my $10 million directly out of his pocket just because this person said so. What type of world is we living in, and what type of business are you running if you letting somebody else run your business? You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what somebody else say. It got to be proof. You got to bring proof to the pudding. You understand what I'm saying? So here's my whole thing. As I stated before, there's nothing on camera. There's nothing in text messages. There's nothing on a recorded phone call. There's no recordings. There's nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And I could believe this. This would be a whole lot easier for me to believe if, one, it was less people, and if all of these people just didn't come out the woodwork just because one person got the ball rolling. And it'd be much more easier for me to believe if somebody just came out and said this right off the rip. Like, my whole thing is, for example, is they saying he ejaculated on one of these women or maybe a few of these women without consent. When I sit back and I ask myself, how do you ejaculate on somebody without their consent? How? How does that happen? When you sit down and you relax your brain and you ask yourself a question of that sort, right? How does someone ejaculate on someone without their consent? How does it happen? It's impossible. It doesn't fucking happen. It's a fucking lie. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if someone is, you know what I mean? Like, how does it happen? If someone is, let's just say he jerking off, right? If he jerking off and he's about to ejaculate on him, why the fuck wouldn't the bitch move then? You know what I'm saying? It's a simple move. Get the fuck out the way. Or, you know what I'm saying? Don't just stand there where he about to fucking bust at, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying this man touched you without your consent. You're saying that this guy, you know what I mean, forced you to do this, forced you to do that. But if he's at your masseuse place, right? And this is your place of working and you do massages, then how hard is it for you to just step out the door and say, oh, this guy is treating me in a manner that I don't want to be treated? Oh, yeah, you wanted to be around the NFL player. You wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? You wanted him to do all of the things that he did to you. You wanted those things to be done, and you got compensated for it. Is that legal? Who knows if it's legal? I really don't know if that's legal or not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to me how someone can do something of that sort without your permission, and then you walk away and then say everything is okay until you see somebody else say it and now you want to say it. That's total bullshit to me. Not to mention the fact that all these old ass rich white men, they do the same shit. This is what they do. That shit that you see with Einstein, whatever the fuck his name is, dude out of LA and all of them. This is what they do. This is what they do. They pay women to come to their cribs, and they pay women to go to wherever they doing to massage them. And then, yeah, at the end of the day, they have a happy ending. Bro, it's a whole underground world of that going on. And if you're in that world, you know. You know what I'm saying? Technically, I'm not in that world, but I know it exists. You know what I'm saying? So, and these women, they know it exists. These men, they know it exists. And when you come to an agreement, I'm sure it's not said, but at the end of the day, you know what you signing yourself up for. I believe all of the women knew what they were signing themselves up for. And at the end of the day, they seen a payday. They seen some way to get paid out or to get some type of clout, and they jumped on it, man. That's my take on it. It's Tate Takes.